Hi everybody. Hey, today this is 2015, October the 4th. Today I'm going to show you how to make a coon set that I use. It's pretty standard, but it has a couple of little tricks to it that works very well for me. Especially for that one coon that you can't seem to get in the trap because he just can't seem to get stepped onto that pan. So I'm going to show you today how to make this set that I make. It's pretty basic, but for you newcomers it could help you out very well. So let's take a watch here and see what we do, and hopefully this will help you on your trap line. First off, we want to turn around and make our bed that we use, and I cut out a pretty good sized hole in the ground for the size of the trap. So once I get this out, dig it up a little bit, pull our dirt and pull our grass out of the way. And then we take our trowel and we dig it out a little bit. Now what we want to do is we wish to try to get that trap right level with the ground. We don't want it above ground, and we certainly don't want it way below ground because they probably most likely will not step down, although that does happen. Animals are not fallible, but it works. So we scoop out this dirt, make it nice, pretty, get it out of the way. We grab over trap, and I'm using a disposable anchor and cable with a swivel and a quick link. Okay, so we'll set this in. And you want to make sure you get this buried down pretty good. I usually get them in right up almost to the chain, right up to the quick link. Now when you pull on that anchor, what's going to happen, it goes down like this, but when you pull on that cable, it will go up like this, and it will anchor it in. And this works really well, like on black dirt, sand, so on and so forth, most of your loose soils. If you're working in mud, you need to look at some other type of disposable stakes that are made for working in muck. So I'll continue on here. The next thing we want to do is we want to get our chain set down. See what we got here. And we're going to want to add a little dirt to this. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get this trap set in just perfectly, bedded in good so it doesn't wiggle around a lot, and it will help you. And as we go along, I'll grab the camera here and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So this is one of those times to show you that bedding that trap is really pretty important here. Now, as you can see, this is the way you want to do it. You want to get it where it beds down. It's in the ground fairly firmly. We roll this up. This here has got a sterling night latch. It's got a little bead on the end, which is just fabulous for the way that you want to set your trap in. Now what you're going to hear is a click. Hear that little click? Okay, now that trap is ready to go. The pan is level with everything. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to throw a little screen over the top of the trap, and that's going to protect it from the dirt coming down underneath the pan. And we're going to sift dirt over this. Okay. Now this ground's a little uneven, which is still fine. But it looks pretty good, don't it? Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to mark where this trap pan is, which is right about here. So I'm going to put this stick because right here is the pan. So I use this as a marker so that way I can turn around and put in my bait hole. So that is the next thing we're going to do. So hold on here for a second and let me get this going. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want this angle on this hole that's going to make him want to step right up to the hole. And I put my traps down, or put my bait hole down at least 12 inches down. I get a bit of an angle on it, so it makes them go in. Now there's a couple things you can do when you're making your bait hole. You get enough of your dirt out, is to, when you get your bait down into the hole, which I'm going to show you here, what we're using today is a River Rats Trapping Supply Undertaker bait. This is a raccoon bait. It's kind of a sweet bait, kind of puts you in mind of dates and stuff like that. And it's really quite a sweet bait. Raccoons absolutely love it. And this stuff works extremely well for me on the creeks and in the ditches. So we're going to use a little bit of this today to show how we make this set. Now that I've made that mark in the ground where it is, now I'm going to turn around and put some of this bait in there. Now, too much bait is not always good. Just the right amount of bait is best. So what I actually end up putting in there is try to put in about a half a tablespoon. I drop that right down in the hole like that. And then what I do is quite often is I'll put something in the hole, because we don't want them to be able to see down the hole. We want them to be able to work that, and they're going to work the set as it is. But what I do is I take some litter, sort of like leaves or something of that nature, and I put that in there, and that way it looks pretty good. But at the same time, I don't put it in real tight. I just kind of lace it in there nice and softly. So when you do this, what it's going to do is it's going to allow the scent to come back out of that hole. And when that raccoon walks by, he's going to smell it, and then he's going to sit here and he's going to work that set, and he's going to try to get it figured out. Now a lot of times they'll come from the back side of the hole, and that's why a lot of times you put it up against something, or put something behind it to cause them to keep away from the hole. So a lot of times I'll take this extra grass that I have here, and I'll lay that in right up here, right up on the back side of this hole, and that works very, very well. Now I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this that I'm going to show you how to turn around and get that raccoon. If you got one that's coming in, he's hitting your bait and you can't get him, or he's stepping all the way around but you can't get him on your pan to catch him. Well, one of the things that I do is I look for something that you can put on the ground and it's going to be unstable, where like if you walk through the woods and you see a log that just isn't quite right, you're going to step over that log, because you know if you step on it you're going to slip, it's going to roll out, or it's going to break, or so on and so forth. Well, the coons and the animals in general are basically the same way, unless they're running blind or something of that nature where they're being pursued. But when they're coming in and they're working your set and you want them to come in, quite often what you're going to want to do is put something down that you're going to force them to step over it, because they know it's unstable for them to stand on it. So they'll step over it. So what I do is I'll usually get a hunk of stick, or even a rock or something like that, of something of that nature that's fairly decent size, where it's going to make them kind of hard for them to stand on it. So what I usually do is take something like this, a stick, and I set it right down, because we know the pan is right here because of what I have in the mark and what I use for my bait stick. Now what I'll do is I will take this stick and I'll put it just in front of the pan. So when that raccoon comes up, he sees this is unstable, because he can see it just lays there. So he's not going to stand on this. As you can see, it rolls a little bit and everything. So when he comes up into the set and comes straight in, what I do is I put it right in front of the pan. So when he steps over, he steps right directly onto the pan. Now this works extremely well for me, especially when you get that tough coon that You just can't seem to get him on the pan. I've had them come in on the side. So one other thing you want to do is guide them. Guide them into your set. Make it look as nonchalant as possible. So I'll take some surrounding weeds and I'll guide them into the set and make them come in straight. Now you have your bait hole here, you have your backing, you have your bait hole on a sideward slant where it's almost like they got to come straight up on it to look down it. That's what you're looking for, because when they come straight in and they walk up to the trap and they walk up to the hole, they're going to walk right into it. So when they walk right in, they're going to walk right in and step on that pan. And sometimes they're able to go in and they'll dig that hole a little bit, but as they're digging that hole, they're kind of dancing around a little bit too as well. So we try to guide them. So that's the purpose of these weeds. We kind of guide them in a little bit. Our bait hole, we have something inside the bait hole where it allows the scent to come out of the bait. And it also is in there loose enough that it allows the air to come through. And as well, it also hides what's in the bottom of the hole. So it's going to make them dig it out. They're going to reach into the hole and they're going to pull them leaves out until they find the bait. Meanwhile, hopefully in that time, he's going to step on that pan or he's going to step over this stick onto the pan and you'll have him right away. Most of the times, your raccoon will get in that trap, he'll fuss a little bit, and I've seen it because I've watched one walk into one of my sets. And he sat there and he got in the trap, he fussed for a couple of seconds, and he went right into the hole, dug the hole out, ate the bait, and I walked over and took him. So this is the way I do a lot of my coon sets on the creek beds and stuff like that. Other things that you can do that makes it even simpler is you take a piece of 1-inch PVC, okay, and you put a 90 on it. And what you do is you take saran wrap so you can kind of make a little bit of a pocket, and then you put your 90 back on, okay? And then the next thing you do is you come up and you poke it right in a hole, or you put it right down into the ground. You put it right at the level, okay? And what that coon's going to do, he's going to smell that bait, and this here is eye appeal. This is going to give him something to look at. So when he's walking around and smelling it, he sees this white, he'll beeline in for that deal there. And of course with this 90, he's going to have to come around to the front to get at it. He won't be able to reach around and get at the bait that's tucked in down here inside on the 90. He'll have to reach in to get it out. So while he's in there doing that, he'll walk in, he'll step over the stick, and he'll be on that. So if you have a problem making a good hole, this is a good way of doing it. A 1-inch piece of PVC, cheap, a 90-degree angle, elbow. Put a piece of saran wrap in there so your bait doesn't fall all the way down to the bottom. You put it in there and make a little pocket, fill it full of bait. And this way when he comes in, he's going to come in with his paw and he's going to be in here digging to get that bait out. While he's in there digging, he's going to be wiggling. And while he's wiggling, he's going to step right onto that trap. Now this works very good. This works well for me. I trap rivers, I trap creeks, I land trap as well as ditches, like for irrigation ditches and such like that. This works great. It's got great eye appeal and it works well. Some of us like to be the tradition, so we turn around, we use bait holes. I use both. Whatever happens to work, whatever happens to be best for the situation. Sometimes in swampy water or so on and so forth, where it's really mucky, so then I'll take the trap and put it into the water, set this behind the trap, so when the animal comes in, he comes up to it and he steps on the trap in the water and you still have him. And this also makes it very waterproof because you got it tucked in, you got your 90. You'll have to have a sideways rain to get water into it so the bait is protected. So this is all I have today. This is Peaks Animal Control. I hope you have a good season. God bless you. Be American patriot. Be American. Support the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. This is the best thing I can have for you. And this is all good for you. You as an American. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. And I'll have some more for you here along the way. our season's coming up, and I'll take you along on when I make my coyote sets and such, and we'll have a good time doing it. So I'll talk to you later. Be good, be careful, and have a good day.